Hey, creators, I'm insert name here, and today we're ditching outdated YouTube tips. Whether you're a pro or just starting, let's leave old strategies behind. Subscribe, ring the bell, and let's revolutionize our content game. Dive into the must-drop outdated tips with me. Don't do that anymore. Howdy everyone, Nate here. I asked ChatGPT to generate the most generic sounding YouTube intro script I could possibly generate, and I would definitely not use it on a video. And the main reason isn't because it was ChatGPT generated or that it was semi-generic. The main reason was it was too polite. Let me explain what I mean. So recently I had an entire recording session with a client. It was 2 hours long where they were recording live videos and I was there on Zoom watching everything they did as they were recording an actual YouTube video. And I stopped them periodically primarily for this thing. You see, what most YouTube creators don't realize until it's pointed out to them like this is that you come to your videos with an idea that certain things need to be said in a certain way. I see it most often with the intros and the endings of videos, as well as transitioning to new topics within videos. What happens is we think we need to say certain phrases or do certain small talk that just doesn't work on YouTube. What I've seen tools like ChatGPT do is they will take the grand amount of whatever data is available, which is a whole bunch of YouTubers starting their videos with this certain way that everyone feels like they should start their videos like, and that's what it outputs. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to undo the training of what you think you should be doing to be polite in your videos, and instead do this. Think of what you're sharing in your videos as value pops, and this can apply to any type of channel, whether it's a gaming channel or an educational channel. You have main things that are the primary points of value for your audience. They're the most entertaining moments, the key story points, or the main tips you're trying to share in your video. Each of those is a value pop, and so you build your video around those value things and focus primarily on those things. Then the purpose of everything else in your video is making those moments exceptional. Next thing, this is one of my current favorites. You start whatever you're delivering in your video as if it feels like it's already happening. Get this, it was already happening before the video started. And just like that, I'm giving away the secrets of YouTube success here. Watch channels that are spreading a lot and or growing quickly, and you'll notice them doing this. Next thing is this. I want you to take about a quarter of the time that you think you need to take to share the same thing. I fully realize that 1/4 of the time is pretty dramatic. This comes from actually working one-on-one with a variety of different creators like yourself. In the case of that creator where I was drilling them live while they were recording a video, I found that the ending of the video was about 2 minutes long when it should have been 30 seconds. Which is why if you're training yourself on this, or if this is a new concept, I want you to go extreme with it and just go a quarter right here. And also I'm realizing now I should have crossed this out because you're not being polite. This is how to not be polite. Okay, all right. All right, next, I want you to stop having clever thumbs. I always use the word thumbs instead of thumbnails because I write that word down way too much, so I always refer to them as thumbs. So let's confuse everybody who just jumped ahead to the video at this point and they just saw me writing clever thumbs. So yes, you should stop having clever thumbnails. Just stop it. 9.9 times out of 10, when a creator says, oh, I'm going to be really creative and clever with this thumbnail, it's a bad thumbnail. Let me explain why. What these nefarious clever thumbnails usually look like is using memes, literal translations of things or concepts in the video, or inside jokes. So I was having a conversation with someone. I was helping them with their thumbnails a while back, and we were looking at the thumbnails, and one of them had a crystal ball. That had the person holding a crystal ball in the thumbnail. So I had to think, and I told this to the creator, what was the thought process here? Was it, okay, this video is about predicting the future. What's about predicting the future? Oh, soothsayer, someone with a crystal ball that's looking and predicting your fortune. Why doesn't that work? It's because thumbnails should appeal to a broad amount of people. And something that's only understandable to a smaller subset of any audience on YouTube is not a good thumbnail. Here are your rules. I gotta cross out my clever thumbs here. Number one, context. If someone needs to have already watched your video to understand what the thumbnail is about, that is not a good thumbnail. 2, if people need to have watched the video first to be interested in the video by the thumbnail, that is not a good thumbnail either. Now, you'll see exceptions to that in a variety of YouTube channels, but usually those channels either have a larger audience, so they have a critical mass of audience that understands their humor already, or on channels whose whole style, their content types they're doing on their channel are trendy things or memes and insider stuff. And I'm gonna break it to you, 99.9% of YouTube channels do not fit into those two categories. Yes, I'm looking at you. So don't do clever thumbnails. Next outdated thing is the myth that everyone needs shorts. That everyone needs to do YouTube Shorts on their channel. No, in fact, not everyone needs to do YouTube Shorts. In fact, most people should not do YouTube Shorts unless they do it strategically. Now, why is that? For many creators, doing YouTube Shorts is not going to lead to the type of audience that they want long term. And really, if you're doing YouTube Shorts or if you've been considering YouTube Shorts, let's talk about this for a moment. Presently, right now, why do you think that you need to do YouTube Shorts? In most cases, it would fit into one of these two categories. One, because we want to get more views and or subscribers. Oh, and there's my child. Just a moment. And two, because that creator feels like they should because everybody else is talking about it. And that seems to be the trendy thing or the thing that everyone's doing and or saying that you have to do to be successful. And that is just not the case for the simple reason that YouTube Shorts need to do this for you. In order to do YouTube Shorts on your channel and for it to be a valuable thing for you, it needs to provide value for both you and your audience. So the reasons you should do YouTube Shorts on your channel are either A, with minimal time, you enjoy doing them and it's something you want to do on an ongoing basis, or B, you want the audience that's interested in small bites of interest. And on to the next thing. Now let me explain what I mean by asking you a question. I want you to think through the actions you've taken along the way in the journey of growing your YouTube channel. Among those actions, have you ever done a thing just because you felt like you should do that thing or it's what people are telling you should do? Or another example, have you ever published or done a certain video just because you wanted it to get you views and subscribers? If those things have ever happened to you, I want you to take a step back and look at the bigger perspective here. What do those types of things do for you? Getting more views and subscribers can lead to monetization for your channel, yes. But if those subscribers never come back to your content, even after you're monetized, you're not going to be making money anyway. So the point here is this. Number one, challenge your actions, everything that you're doing to build a channel, and take a step back and say, is this actually valuable for me? And two, in regards to the gaining subscribers and or views on your videos, think of it this way. What you're really doing long-term is building an audience, and those things will naturally follow. I know that may be flipping it on the head from what you have been thinking of growing your channel as, but looking at it this way, I promise you, will build you a much more sustainable and lucrative channel this year. All right. Next outdated thing to stop doing this year is to not have a plan. Yes, I'm looking at you. Do you have an idea of what types of content you're going to do? Do you know what types of videos and what topics you're going to cover? Do you know what actions you want your audience to take as a result of your content? Is it organized? Do you feel happy about it? Am I calling anyone out with this? Well, I have a video opening up the entire process I'd be doing to plan a YouTube channel, and that is coming soon. So stay in the loop here because it's going to be a ring dinger. Next thing to stop doing in this coming year is focusing on the wrong audience behavior. Now listen closely because this is something you might not have thought about before. My mom has a saying. My brother and I call her Mother Dear. I don't know how that started. It just started one day. We decided to call her Mother Dear. So now I always call her Mother Dear, and yes, her name in my phone is labeled as Mother Dear. But that's beside the point. My mom has a saying that she always told me growing up, and it was this: what you focus on grows. There are thousands of potential applications for that maxim, but the one I wanted to talk about here has to do with your audience. With your audience, what you focus on will grow. What behavior do you want your audience to show? What actions do you want them to take? For example, if you get a lot of questions in the comments on your videos and you find yourself answering a lot of those questions, that type of behavior will continue to grow. It's neither bad nor good. It's just for you as the creator, do you want your audience to have the expectation that when they ask a question, you're going to answer it every time? You want an example from this channel? Well, recently I did a video roast, and in the first section of the video, I pointed out how the person that I was about to roast called me Nick twice in their message instead of Nate. And I didn't realize the amount of response I was going to get to that. That video has so many comments on it, and about half or more of them are calling me, you guessed it, Nick. And I'll be honest here, at first I wasn't sure how I felt about that. I thought, that's funny, my name's actually Nate. But then I realized, hey, what if we have some fun with this? And I don't know, right now my current idea is for future roast videos to have an alter ego or another persona of myself that's nefarious Nick. Which, by the way, if you want to see the phenomenon happening, you can go check out the video here. Watch the video, yes, it's a very fun, entertaining video, but also just scroll through the comments on that video. What I'm saying here is the traditions that you establish with your audience, you want them to lead to the behavior that you want your audience to make. And what you'll find this year is as you do these things with your audience, the best ones, or the ones you want to keep the most, are the ones that you want to focus on the most. Now, the flip side of this is if you want your audience to do less of something, do this. Yes, I want you to do nothing. Really, that is it, because most of the time people will just move on. If it's something that does need to be addressed, then go ahead and address it in a very polite manner. But in most cases, just do nothing. Just move on, you're okay. And now I'm going to precede the call to action, or the thing that I want you to do after watching this video. And that is watch my next video about planning your year. I'm putting a ton of work into that video, including opening the curtains on what I have found to be most successful in running that production pipeline, as well as if you have team members, how to get them into the process. So yes, you'll want to watch that video when it comes out. Next, we gotta talk about this thing, the one thing that is unseen that perhaps causes the most channels to fail. Fear. Yes, I'm gonna go there because nobody talks about this and it needs to be talked about more. Fear. In fact, if you found yourself in a position where you felt like giving up, or this coming year, if you're watching this video, I want you to watch out for this. There's one quote about this that's had a huge impact on me and has helped me keep going even during the really tough times, or the times when I felt like this is too much. I'm too afraid of what's going to happen. And that quote is from a well-known psychologist, Dr. Peterson, and I'm paraphrasing here. Take people and expose them to things that they're avoiding or afraid of, and we don't know the limits. If for 10 years you didn't avoid anything you knew you needed to do, what would you be like? That principle is why I chose the branding Radical. This is why, as of recording this, the banner on my channel reads the way it does. You see, what I did here is I created a noun as much for myself as anyone else, representing facing fear, making a new choice, and doing something different. And that can be you this year also.